Good morning to the FYI family, and good morning to the FYI community. We trust that you guys are well. We are happy that you folks are here with us. The whole family, Beatrice Selby, Yolanda Thomas, Terrence Beaton. Good morning to each and every one of you. Isabella Butters, not leaving out Isabella Butters by any means. A very good morning to you guys. Smash that emoji button as soon as you're on and share that live, and do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear where you guys are. What are you guys having for breakfast? And black coffee at our end, folks. Debbie Collins, Sharon Backus, we see you guys there. All the technicians who are on duty, do let us know if you guys are hearing us loud and clear. Let us know, techies, if you're hearing us loud and clear. Sean Backus, not Sean, Showing Backus. Yep, Beatrice says loud and clear. Technician Beatrice Selby says loud and clear. Guys, we are super duper happy that you folks are here with us. Debbie Collins and all the other guys, Fratia Phillips and the whole crew. Guys, we are so happy that you folks are here with us. Sion Oscar Peters, thanks for joining us. Debbie, Shawin, Sion, Beatrice, Fratia, thanks for joining us wherever you guys are joining us from. You're coming by the numbers. We're happy. We're happy. Claire Alexis, Charlie Richmond, we're happy that you're here with us. We hope that the work day is off to a great start for you, Claire Alexis, and all the other folks joining us. How has the morning started? Folks, it's a rough morning in some other places, you know. Some guys had a rough start to the day. So count your lucky stars. Count your lucky stars. Things going a little better at your end. You're not under the weather too much. You know, you got a lot to be thankful for still. We got a lot to be thankful for still, and we're happy, guys. We're happy that you're here with us. We're happy. I see on Oscar Peters says he's joining us from London. London is in the house, which means now it's about midday in London. Are we correct? Now it's about midday in London. Sion, be happy that you're here with us. Tommy Gibbs is here too. Annette Cummins is here. Wendy Caesar, Don Sullivan. Andrew Griffith is here as well. Andrew, respect and manners, and thanks for all the info. Thank you so much. Merlin Sampson is here too. Thanks, Merlin, for all the info that you guys share with us all the time. Andrew, especially, is always sharing info with us. Andrew Griffith, respect and manners, Andrew, and all the other guys who are joining us. Evelina Whitaker. Evelina, we see you there. How are you doing, Evelina? How are things at your end? How has the morning started? Tommy Gibbs says, now wake up and giving thanks. That's all we got to do, Tommy. That's all we can. In everything, the good book tells us, we must give thanks. This is the will of the Lord concerning our lives. It's the will of the Lord. Guys, we're super happy that you folks are here with us. We got quite a few things to share with you guys this morning. Quite a few things to share with you guys. And we did say, you know, if the day started a little, a little off kilter at your end, there is still much to give thanks for. There is still a lot that we can give thanks for. Stan Bourne, we see you there. Stan and all the other folks like Tabitha Maynard. Stan said, don't say 40. You can say 39, but don't say 40. You can say 50, 51. Don't say 40. Little Pratt, good to have you here. Little and Yolanda Thomas. Yolanda says she's on the bus heading to work. It's 44 degrees in Queens. If you want to snap a pic for us, we'd be happy to show it a little later on in the program. Snap a pic. On the bus heading to work, Siobhan McDonald and all the other folks. Guys, we trust you guys. We trust that you guys are going to have a fantastic day. You know, whatever comes, you know, the challenges are going to come, you know, but it's your reaction to it. And we hope that you guys surmount whatever challenges come in your path. All of you folks who are now waking up and giving thanks. Some of you on your way to work. You know, we hope that all goes well. Yolanda Thomas, I might be close to you quite soon. Yolanda, I'm due for a visit in the diaspora. Folks, we're covering stories at home and in the diaspora as well, you know. Once Guyanese are involved, you know, there's a connection to our Guyanese. Wherever the story leads, we gotta pursue the truth. Wherever it leads, Beatrice Selby, good to see you there. Kashin Sharma, Ram Jalan, good to have you as well. Ahmed Cummins, and all the other folks who are joining us. We are happy you guys are here. A number of things, guys, we're looking at. I said to you guys, if the day, it started well for you, give thanks, because it didn't start so for a lot of people. It did not start so for a lot of folks. This is one of the things that we are tracking this morning, guys. We keep saying slow down. Slow down and let me arrive alive. Slow down and let us arrive alive. But everybody listening, that's why Right? These two cars ended up like this, they tell us. This is Stewartville on the west coast of the Amara, on the west coast, on the west side at Stewartville. They said a female driver of Toyota Axio, right, was part of this accident here, and both vehicles were proceeding in the same direction when another car tried to pass her on the turn at Stewartville. Right? The car pulled him back, she said. When he pulled him back, I was already in his spot, and to avoid running into his back, I took the outer lane. And at the same time, the driver of the Toyota Vasio was turning into the street when they collided and ended up in the ditch and broke a wooden bridge in front of a resident's home. Yep. Unfortunately, you always have to give yourself some room behind these vehicles. When they're maneuvering, you always have to give yourself some room, because you say to yourself, this is Guyana. And anything can happen. And you always have to be thinking for the drive in front of you. And personally, I'm always giving myself some space to ditch. Especially if you're driving behind a minibus. They could turn any given moment, pull any car at any given time, do whatever they like. So I'm always giving myself some space to ditch. Left or right, if they do something silly. If they just mash brakes like that. You see? You see it all the time. Some buses come and overtake you, full speed, and they're stopping right down there. Right on. So they overtake you to cut him back. Right down when they're stopping. Full speed overtaking you. Always give yourself some time, some space. We're going to ditch this vehicle in case of anything. I can put it on the parapet. I'm going to put it... Yep. So sad about that, but we're happy that there were no fatalities. Definitely coming out of situations like this, people are a little shaken up, but it could have ended much worse. Stewartville, folks. Stewartville. Yep. That's what's going down at Stewartville. Yolanda Thomas and Neon Harding. We see here all the time. Dan Mitchell. All the Dans are here this morning. All the Dans are here. Jolly Anderson and all our two birds. We say slow down. Slow down, folks, and let me arrive alive. That's what we say. Slow down. So this is Stewartville on the west coast. Demwara. Yep. And then we had overnight, right in the national capital city, overnight. This is on Mandela Avenue, right opposite the East La Penitence police station. Mandela Avenue and Fremont Street. Right opposite. I think there's the Czech Republic embassy. It's close in that vicinity there. And this is overnight. Vashi Magnon. Slow down and let me arrive alive. Tabby Gibbs, Robin Marquez, Debbie Collins, Robin Kendall. This overnight, folks. Mandela Avenue. And whether you're at home or you're abroad, slow down. Donna Joseph, right. Yolanda Thomas, Robin, slow down and let me arrive alive. We keep saying all the time, Guyana has some of the most dangerous roadways in the world. Some of the most dangerous roadways in the world. In the world. Are we talking about water in the remote? No. No, we're not. So, folks, as we come on this morning, we encourage you folks to share the live for us and smash that emoji button as well. These are some of the things that we're going to be covering this morning. Share the live for us, good folks. Share and expose. Share the live, expose the truth. Please and thank you. share the live, and expose the truth. We're ready to get into some of the stuff we are tracking in the morning papers, the headlines. We're ready to get into some of that. But as you guys come onto the live, share the live and smash that emoji button. Good folks, do that for us. We'll be immensely and eternally grateful. Share the live and smash that emoji button. Folks, some of the things that we are covering, some of the things that we are tracking in the morning papers, guys. A lot to go through. And we want to thank you guys for being here with us. Look, one of the first things that we're looking at, over pig, folks. Over a pig. You know, some of y'all are going to say people got it too good. You know, but it just tells you signs of the times. You know, signs of the times gives us a sense of exactly what is happening at this end. Williamsburg man, critical. You know, missing pig. Folks, things tight, you know. Things tight. They're telling us that Nourish Ramangal, 28 years old, is a kid harvester of Williamsburg, quarantine. He was stabbed to his abdomen. You know, last Sunday over missing pig. It's critical at the moment. They tell us critical at the moment at New Amsterdam Hospital. All right. Critical at the moment. He was stabbed by a 27-year-old man, they tell us, from Rose Hall. All right. And the man is purported to be his friend. Purportedly to be a long-standing friend. Interestingly. Right? So this is what transpired. They had this argument over a missing pig. Folks, that's how life is cheap, you know. That's how life cheap. A pig. A missing pig could get stabbed. People got no, what do you say? They have no confidence in the police to solve the problem, so matters are taken into their own hands. Just like a pig. Right? And the fellow was stabbed, unfortunately. That's just one of the headlines we're following. We hope that Mr. Ramangal gets well soon, makes a full recovery. Full recovery. We're looking at this gang that invaded this school in Linden. You know, very interesting. Invaded a school in Linden. And I want to circle back to this in just a sec, you know. And we're going to expand on it. You said teachers and students of this Harmony Secondary School and Wismar Linden, you know, suffered violence when a gang invaded the school. A whole gang invaded the school. Harmony Secondary School in Wismar Linden. A whole gang invaded. I want to circle back to that in a sec. I want to get through the stuff we're covering in the morning papers, some of the headlines that we're looking at, and we're going to circle back to that one. We're going to circle back to that one. But here's another headline that we're following. You remember that Jamaican economist, Damian King, Dr. Damian King? He said, yeah, I'm not going no place. The government has come out swinging, right? Rebuffing those, of course. What do you expect? It's a set piece. What did we expect? We expect that. They're going to come out swinging, and that's what they did. So one report that says it was a mediocre analysis. Gwyneth Anderson, Yolanda Annette Cummins, Marcia Agard, out front parts. Report said it was a mediocre analysis. I sip my tea. Mediocre analysis. You know, some folks like old front parts, like Gwyneth Anderson, Roxanne Aaron, and Yolanda Thomas, they would say the truth hurts. It's a mediocre analysis. But Dr. Damian King, the Jamaican economist, showed you how he arrived at this conclusion based on, how other countries have gone. He said good governance forces you to produce. Right? Good governance. He said, we got that, but we don't need Dr. Damian King to tell us that. Right? We don't need Dr. Damian King to tell us that, really and truly. Because we can ask a simple question, Gwyneth and Vashti and Elmo, George and Marcel, Oliver. We can ask the simple question, since we start pumping oil, since we find oil and we start pumping, has your life been better? Have your life been better? You don't have to worry about rent and how light bill paying and so on, and grocery costs in the market. Has your life been better since we start pumping oil? And we're talking about rebuffing Dr. Damian King's assertions. Has your life been better? Right? I would have been happy if I could have been doing some backflips. Nice time. He said, when you have good governance, you are forced, the elite, the government, to create a wealth-creating environment like Singapore. Right? But the countries that have natural resources like us in oil and gas tend to do worse than before they found those resources. So I think Dr. Damian King telling me what we know. You see? But the truth, the truth hurts. So you get these claims that he's being rebuffed. Well, they got to do what they got to do. The propagandists got to do what they got to do. A recent U.S. State Department report says that poor obstetrics, right, and infrequent access to prenatal care, those are among the leading causes of maternal deaths locally. Again, we in it, we on the ground. But see, if we had told them, boys, that's enough. The propaganda team on the other side. When we say it, that's how it comes across. But when this U.S. State Department says it, it's quiet truth. It's silent city. Yep. Poor obstetrics performance. Poor obstetric performance. That's what they're saying. Infrequent access to prenatal care among the leading causes of maternal deaths. And those who want to be honest can do so. Under the previous administration, who had their own faults, we were going somewhere with pulling down maternal deaths, infant mortality, mothers dying from complications of giving birth. We were going somewhere. Let's be honest. Let me be fair to ourselves. Right? None of the U.S. State Department got to come and tell us that. We can be fair and honest with ourselves. Those are among some of the headlines that we're seeing. But let's say I wanted to circle back as we've come to the end of the headlines. I wanted to circle back to that gang violence, the gang violence there in Linden. I want to circle back to that. Because the regional vice chair, Region 10, Mark Gorin, he covered some of what happened yesterday morning as a result of that gang invading that school at Wismar. He was covering some of that. And I think the ministry has got to be far more proactive than it has been. And so situations like what happened at Harmony Secondary School yesterday morning does not repeat itself. But as I said, the vice chairman of Region 10, Margorin, he was with the teachers yesterday as they staged a protest. Protest in every part of this country. You know, one wonders if they had to apply for a permit to protest if they would have been granted. They staged a protest outside of that school yesterday. And here is some of what Mark Goring, the regional vice chair, right? Here is some of what he put out there. Just yesterday, protest, sometimes that's what it takes, sadly. Here's some of what he would have put out there on social media yesterday from that protest.
Put their body to
celebrating International Women's Month, and our men are harassing.
Agnes, I'm here. I'm live, of course, updating the public. Could you give the public a synopsis of what took place yesterday? Yes, could you give the public what took place yesterday? What transpired?
Live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Yesterday, we had an incident at school whereby we had 2 students of our school. They had a run-in. And one, he got hit in his mouth. And so I was investigating the matter. When investigating the matter, I found that they had an old grievance 2 weeks ago that they brought to the school. However, trying to solve the problem, I separated them and I told the boy who was the aggressor to go and bring his parents so that we can deal with the matter. He left, but when he returned with a group of boys. They stood outside of the compound, and at that time, after we recognized what was happening, we hired a car to send the other child home, which is the victim, home. When these boys saw that this boy was not going to come through the gate walking, and he was going to go into a car, they ran into the compound, up the steps. By the time we recognized what was happening, the children were saying, close the door, these boys are coming with weapons. We did try to close the door. Myself and a few teachers, we tried bracing the door. However, these boys ran up the step and they kicked the door open. Hit the teacher to her face. So she had to go to the hospital for medical. Whole one of the students at gunpoint, at the scissors. He had a scissors to the child's neck. Slap up another one. One of them on the road, he got a wood, hit the child behind his head. The child is hospitalized, vomiting. We don't know the seriousness of it right now. He's being observed. So the situation is, the teachers, the parents, the students, we've all taken a stand that we need police protection at the school from 8 to 2, Monday to Friday, because our lives are at stake. The children's life are at stake. We also want the fence that we have at the back there to be higher because they jump that fence. They skate it ever so often and coming to the school. We're asking that we have welfare officers stationed at the school. Many of the times these things can be catered for if we have welfare officers. We gotta stop teaching. Stop the delivery of the curriculum to deal with these issues. It is taken away, it is tiresome, it's burdensome. We need ministry intervention. We had to call off tests today because of the situation that we are experiencing. Our teachers are traumatized. Yes. Many of them cried all night. I cried. Many of them say, "Listen, I can't come to school, I am nervy." It is ridiculous. These children, and it's not children that came into the school to represent the young man. These are adults.
Okay.
So we're asking for help. Whatever help we can get, we need that help. That's the way we can help our children.
Okay. There's a situation we're seeing just last week. We saw a teacher in Borby area got attacked the same way. And this is a situation that is plaguing, you could say, the country at large. And something really need to be done about this. Right, where adults is coming into school and injuring teachers and students. And it's time that, not just this school, tomorrow might be another school.
Exactly.
Right, and everyone at some point need to take a stand. I can say for this, the RD City Council is behind the teachers and the students. We concerned for the welfare of the students and the teacher. I know late last year would have raised a number of issues with this school in terms of the environment, the teaching conditions, and all these stuff. The council, on the start of September, we would have visited all the schools. Each councillor visited a number of schools in the area and reported stuff that we would have come and interviewed the teachers and asked what you want to see, what repairs, what improvement you want to see for 2023 as we was preparing our 2023 budget. So we expecting that after delivering those recommendations to the administration, that a number of those stuff would be addressed, right? But this situation currently, this is a situation that really need the ministry intervention. We need the police intervention so that we can rectify this. All stakeholders should be have all hands on deck in dealing with this situation, because tomorrow might be in Mackenzie High School, where I have a number of my two kids are going there, so it could be any school. So this is very worrisome for me as a parent and also as a councillor and a representative of the people. Of our chairman is here.
I must say that information was fed to the Redo and she acted quickly. The Redo came over with one of the secondary officers and she was with us. We went to the police station and we spent quite a while there with the students who were injured. Okay. So we had the support from the Redo. The police did come over and they tried doing their investigation. But like I said, these children are tight-lipped. They don't want to say anything. So we are not trained. So the police will have to do their work right now. All we want is protection. We want to come and do what we're being paid to do, which is to teach the nation's children, to mold them. They are our future leaders. We can't have this disruption when we're pushing to move our children forward. We don't want that. So we need quick intervention.
I was also told that a number of the gang members is circling in the area. So we hope that the police can make some arrests soon. Mr.
Coming up. You got to talk to him over there. Rasta, you there?
I got that shirt.
I'm sure there. I come because it's sure. I don't really come out.
Every children, but you know the parents are coming to them today. We getting it.
I just hear about it.
Welcome back, folks. Again, those were, that's some of the action that went down yesterday morning. Harmony Secondary School at Wisma as a gang invaded, and you heard from one of the teachers there narrating what took place. Harmony Secondary School at Wisma, and just last night we showed you Marlon Daniels, that teacher from Fort Wellington Secondary School, walking us through that incident that led to his assault at Fort Wellington. So clearly there's an issue in our school system that is not really being addressed. Like, we gotta bring back Hudson. I don't know. We gotta bring back CEO Hudson. Because like the new guy, like he's not up to the task. Like he's not up to the task. We gotta bring back, we might gotta bring back Nicolette. We gotta bring back Nicolette because things seem to be spiraling. Susan Jacobs, things seem to be spiraling. Elmore George. For those of you who missed our program last night, well, you missed seeing Marilyn Daniels, the teacher there from Fort Wellington, give an account of what transpired. His account of what transpired. Well, thankfully for social media, the programs are still on the different pages. If you're on YouTube, it's still there. You can access that program. If it's on Facebook, it's on our Facebook page as well, and you can still access it. So those are some of the challenges that we're dealing with. It's like the whole country upside down. We started off by showing you the number of accidents that we're following on that front. Number of accidents we're following. And as soon as the day start, one after the next. And then the people at Grove, flooding. The people there at Grove got a flooding situation that they're dealing with. You think it easy? It says, then one thing is the next. There are folks at Grove dealing with their own challenges. That's why I said, if you got things a little quiet this morning, be thankful. You got enough to be thankful for. Everything might be going your way, but at least you wake up with your house underwater. And it's so easy for the administration to say, oh, it's a little sea defense bridge. It's a little sea defense bridge, Nothing to be worried about. And the folks there at Grove on the East Bank woke up underwater, sea defense bridge. And this has happened to the people at Petersall so many times. So many times without compensation. Without compensation, the last time they said they brought some expired stuff and give them. The people at Grove waking up underwater, Grove on the East Bank. Waking up underwater. How you woke up this morning? You wake up, had to bail out. Did you? You had to bail out water. Alison Jones, Melanie Adams, Bernadette, Patricia, Milner, Rashid Mohammed. You had to bail out water. Right? Penelope Hudson. You see? And there's somebody arguing with us that it's not the PP causing the accidents. Right? But it's who in charge of the policies. You have to have good policies concerning the road usage. You have to set the policies, and then you have to have enforcement of those policies. And then you have to have penalties as well. Who's in charge of all of that? Suriname, Venezuela, is who? So if you have an administration who is not taking these matters very seriously in all of those areas with the stakeholders, then who you want to hold responsible? The opposition? Come on, man. Come on. You see? Come on. If Nicolette was there, Dr. Nicolette Henry, as Minister of Education, he says she fault. Diwali from Pagua, is she fault. But every cow is crying for your own calf, eh? My brother, the truth hurts, The truth hurts. Every cow is crying for your own calf. You see? It's when we got for bailing out the water. And the people we put in power. There, we ain't saying nothing. We ain't saying nothing. Oh, it's we on. Don't say nothing. Let's go quietly into that good night. But when is the other man inside? It's them. It's them. So I understand the plight of some of you watching us. I understand. You see all of these things going wrong, right? But that thing inside, your bias, that's what you call it. Your bias will not allow you to say, it's the PPP. I understand that. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with that. You'll have the job and say, is the PPP responsible? Right? They are managing the purse strings. They're managing the personnel. You might not be able to avoid every accident, but through education, you can mitigate. Through the policies you put in place, through the enforcement. If people are not penalized, every time something happens on the road, somebody says, let me settle this. The policeman take a little something. You think there'll be any incentive for people to be cautious on the roads? You think there'll be any incentive for people to take care, to be concerned, to exercise common sense? So you might not want to admit who's responsible, but it is there. Gwelette, Suzanne, Annette, Beatrice, the proof is in the pudding. So, our thoughts are go to the people at Grove, all the people at Grove, and we hope that in very, very short order, the administration put in place, the things that will prevent this foolishness from happening, that is happening there. And I think they launched a sea defense project recently, millions of dollars, billions, I dare say, billions of dollars went into that project. And we're seeing, flooding Berbice, we're seeing now flooding on the east bank at Grove here. Right? We gotta keep shoring up our sea defense. It don't shore up itself. It don't show up itself. And if you're taking billions of dollars from the coffers to do that, who you want people to blame? Who do you want folks to blame? The truth hurts. Sad to see. Folks, let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of what's happening internationally. And we're going to circle back to some of the things happening in the region, and then we're going to make our way back home, folks. A lot of stuff happening, and some of it right close to where you are. A lot of things happening. And we hope you guys are connecting the dots. There's quite a few things happening. First up, folks, some water woes. Some water woes. And they're recognizing this internationally. Some water woes. One headline says, dangerous path, reckless water use, spawning global crisis. And it's been a perennial message to conserve water use wherever you live. And we know this headline is accurate because drought right now in Jamaica is creating havoc. And that country has now had to spend millions of dollars that could have gone elsewhere providing water to its citizens because there's a drought. And if you didn't store it up, if you didn't conserve it, you're not going to have now. So Jamaica is reeling from a drought. Yep. And if you're an ardent viewer of our program, right here we said quite recently, Barbados was also stepping up preparation for a dry season there. Barbados. And I guess we can all link it back to global warming and climate change, largely. Droughts and, all of that. Droughts happening where droughts didn't used to happen. That's things we got to cope with. Look what else we're following, folks. Look what else we're following. Pakistan was hit by an earthquake. Isn't that end times? Droughts and earthquakes. Isn't that end times, folks? Come on, help me out. Isn't that end times? Droughts and earthquakes and all these various things we got to cope with. And you act, and the responsible government, a government that demonstrates poor leadership, we're in trouble. So this is what we're tracking on the Pakistan front, and our thoughts and prayers go to all the folks in Pakistan. You know, all the folks there. South Korea, they're coming after the opposition leader, coming after him. And that's what the folks do. That's what the folks do. And this is what we're following in South Korea. The opposition leader they say left-leaning Democratic Party is now facing charges including bribery, breach of duty, and conflict of interest. Lee Jae-myung, breach of duty, conflict of interest, bribery. Those are the charges they are bringing against the leader of the opposition in South Korea, Lee Jae-myung. It's one of the things we're following. Folks, on the international scene, it's a busy time internationally. Very, very busy time internationally. Here's what else we're looking at, folks. Yeah. Failure's got a lot of company, you know. In the UK, they're telling us that Boris Johnson, well, the Rishi Sunak administration has just hammered out a deal with Brussels concerning Brexit. And Boris Johnson, who had one of the most contentious prime premierships, he came back in the deal. Liz Truss, she had one of the shortest tenures prime ministers. She came back in the deal. I don't know if I want to hear from these two, Leslie and Charles. Natalia, Lincoln King. I don't know if I want to hear from Liz Truss and Boris Johnson or anything. Or anything. Boris Johnson right now, before a panel for those Partygate, what is known as Partygate. Right now, he before a panel. I don't think I want to hear much from Boris Johnson. So Johnson and Truss not supporting this Brexit deal with Brussels, hammered out by the Rishi Sunak administration. Of course. The usual suspects, folks. The usual suspects. Yep. And then in other news, folks, we're still looking at what's happening in Ukraine. The US is sending some tanks. They're getting some aircraft. While China is trying to play peacemaker. I love to see Xi Jinping on the international stage like this, you know, looking like the concerned grandfather, right? He's so concerned about peace and so on, you know. I want you all know, they got some folks, Siobhan and Naomi Drucker, politics is funny indeed. They got some people would kill you, come and cry at your funeral, out fun parts. Andrea Jackman, they come and cry at your funeral, and then they will fight your family to read the eulogy. Right? When I see Brother Xi Jinping, I think about that scenario. I think about that. They kill you, they come and cry at your funeral, and then they want to read the eulogy. Right? That's what's happening here with Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. You see? It's the eulogy Xi Jinping trying to read here. You know. But one thing is to be said. Vladimir Putin by himself, you know, is an enormous figure on the world stage. Save and except when he's standing next to Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping dwarfs him in a way that even Biden doesn't. And you can tell who is his stronger partner here. You can tell. But I like this kind of soft power that Xi Jinping has. He's never screaming, he's never hollering, you know. He's always like the nice big uncle, just there in the background, wanting the best for you. And he pulling all these strings. Plotting your death. You know, he's the loudest mourner. Put me in. Put me in. You know, you know those kinds of mourners from Bobby's, a place like Yeovil and Trinidad, and say, put me in. Oh, put me in. And them boys in the bar, you know. And then you fighting now for read the eulogy. Yeah, you gotta watch that. Gwyneth, Loretta Argyle, Gail Alicock. Yes, eulogy, Xi Jinping, trying to read here. But it's good to see the stagecraft. You see? He had to go to Russia to hammer out this deal. They don't know anything. Putin don't agree already. All right? But Ukraine is very, very suspicious. Back channels. Back channels tell us that Ukraine is very suspicious. Back channels. Back channels. Folks, we're looking at some of what's happening in the region. There's a lot happening. It's a lot. Regionally, folks. Regionally. Quite a few things happening. Quite a few things we're tracking in region. Yep. Quite a few things. Let's start in Trinidad. Look what's going down in Trinidad. You know, the leader of the opposition, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, she was mentioned by a lot of the speakers at the recent swearing in of Christine Kangaloo, the new president, seventh president, second female in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? And so persons were wondering why was Kamla such a big feature? Right? But the Trinidadians are showing us how to do it in this regard. The Prime Minister's office said it was a matter of courtesy being extended. We don't have to agree politically for us to treat you with dignity and respect. It's something that the Irfan Ali administration could learn. We don't have to agree politically. If Kamla Persad-Bissessar had showed up at that inauguration, she would have been accorded a front row seat. But you see small-minded people like Jagbi and Ali, they put you the fifth row at the back. Don't even mention your presence there. That is small-mindedness. So the Prime Minister's office said it was a matter of courtesy that speakers, even though she was not there, even though she was not there, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, leader of the opposition in Trinidad and Tobago, her name was mentioned. The Prime Minister's office said it was a matter of courtesy. But don't mistake courtesy for love. You understand? And that's how we build a country. That's the out front parts. Marcia Fordyce, Wanda London, Donna Joseph, Dolly Anderson. Isn't that how we can build a country out of mutual respect? You see, these boys talk the talk, but they don't measure up. They can't walk the walk. And that is why the Trinidadians will always be miles ahead of us. God damn it. They'll be miles ahead of us. Look, you remember the fellow who married Jackie Kennedy after her husband died? President Kennedy? Huh? The fellow who married Jackie Kennedy. His name was Aristotle Onassis. Was an oil tycoon. You remember that? Dolly and Maureen? You remember that? Aristotle Onassis. He said something that stayed with me. Years ago, I watched a documentary on his life. He said money, don't buy class, is by tolerance. Money don't buy class, is by tolerance. The Trinidadians got class. Right? We just coming into little money. We want to buy fancy jet for fly around with. You see? We want to buy fancy plane, big fancy vehicle, but we ain't got no class. That's what we don't have. The Prime Minister says it was a matter of courtesy. That's a big difference. We can learn from that. You can disagree vehemently with your political opponents, but you don't have to be disrespectful. We can learn from that. Right? Listen to our Vice President. You know, talking to Birdness. Oh, if Spice could wind upon the leader of the opposition head. Father of mercy. Money can't buy class. It buys tolerance. People tolerate you. And that's what's happening to them, you know. They see the Americans coming here and they think it's about them. It's about them. I saw what's the fellow's name? The chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. He said in a statement, a statement long, sir, about the discussion. The chairman's statement short, sir. They're hoping our oil can go and power American home and businesses. You think they get time ordinarily with the PPP? If that oil was found in Barbados, they were meeting with the Barbadians, and now they ain't got no time with the PPP. If we were in government, they were meeting with the new AFC. They are concerned about homes they got the power, businesses they got the power, and where they're getting the energy from. It's about the bottom line for them. You see, we mistaken courtesy for love and business interest for love. Right? You see, you better look at what the Trinidadians doing and learn something. But look here, boy. Look story here now. You see, all of a sudden, there's this love affair with Ralph Gonzalez and them. We're learning that St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of which Ralph Gonzalez is the prime minister, for too long, some people say over 20 years. His son is the finance minister. His daughter-in-law involved in something. Friends, family, and favorites. Friends, family, and favorite. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they're telling us, is one of the most indebted nations to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Right? One of the most indebted. You understand why you'll be cozying up to people who just came into an inheritance. Huh? Oh, yes. If one is my brother from Long, it's Long and Louis. Right? It's like when you win the lotto, suddenly you see families start crawling out from under all kinds of rock. Yeah. It's Long now. If I use my uncle, I can tell you now. Yeah. My second auntie, by the back street, by the side alley. Yeah. So you understand why. Because money there. Money there, you might need money for borrow. You see the man come and get loan for houses. You could come. You and I can't even go and get loans so readily. You could come at a foreign bank. Right? I didn't even realize that some of our local banks give loans to other countries. The man come and get loan for our houses. You come and get we house, plus you get me money for pay for the house. That's nice time. That's nice time. Maybe it's because you can't go to the IMF. Perhaps it is because you can't go to the IMF. You see why we got to read widely? Because you can connect the dots after time. It's because the IMF drying up. You're paying back your loan, you probably can't get loan. So you got to look to new avenues. And then you got a Paku who just come into an inheritance, right? And who wants legitimacy on the regional stage. So look at a picture with Ralph, you see. Maybe I had a free and fair election. You ever get a picture with Ralph? You ever get a picture with Mia? Right? It says I had a free and fair election and I wasn't installed by the Americans. Yeah. Nice time. Nice time. Look at us, we following, folks. We talked about water, and internationally, they're talking about how water is scarce because of reckless use of water as a resource. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Decon Mitchell, he is pointing out that problem too. Water security in the region is a concern. And I told you, Jamaica has a drought on its hand. Barbados is bursting it over for a hot spell themselves. And so they can't connect in the dots for when it come on his doorstep. Water security, you see, is a problem in the region and internationally. It's an issue. Water security. We better take some of the money we're getting from oil and gas and shore up ourselves. We had better shore ourselves up. Better shore ourselves up. Things we're covering at home, folks. Things we're covering in the 592, they're telling us. They are telling us that the Guyana Olympic Association has a new executive body. You all know Kejiman Yasin, attorney at law, has been president there for a long time. He's been president there for a little while. The folks are telling us they have a new executive body now. They have a new executive body. You know, and it's nice from time to time the democratic process is renewed in these organizations. It can only argue well for that organization. So the Guyana Olympic Association has a new executive body. Yep. And we hope that they continue to grow from strength to strength. You know, new ideas come in, fresh energy, fresh legs on the field. It can only argue to our benefit. And I hope the guys got some plans, you know, to do some things that, you know, help us to move forward. I hope they got some plans and they can do a couple of things to help us to move forward. We want to congratulate the incoming team. Want to congratulate that incoming team. Right? Y'all don't say long, you know. Get to work. Please, get to work. Right? You vie for the post, you got it. Let me get a couple of things done. Let us get a couple of things done. Please and thank you. We ain't gonna do plenty. Just a couple. And so I say congratulations to this new executive body that is coming in. Congratulations to them. And it is led by Godfrey Monroe, former vice president. It is being led by Godfrey Monroe. So I want to say big congratulations to the entire team led by Mr. Godfrey Monroe. Congratulations to you guys. Congrats. Congrats. You know something that stood out to me? Even though there was a lot of energy, let's put it that way. A lot of energy. Lally Davy, Wonder, a lot of energy going into this electoral process here for the Guyana Olympic Association. This was a very, very refreshing image. A very, very refreshing image. I love if we can see this more. Contenders, I don't know if, KG Mandiasi wasn't contending, right? But I love a handover, right? Lally Davy, handover that is done professionally. You see? Congratulations. It's your turn. I can support you. I can back you. You know, it's 50-something years as a nation. 55. But we're still young. We're still young. And we got a lot to learn. We're still young. Right? And courtesy is an important thing. It's an important thing. Very, very important. And I love this picture here. KG Yasin and Godfrey shaking hands, saying, it's your turn now, Godfrey Monroe, the new president of the Guyana Olympic Association. You know, too many of our organizations end up in legal problems, right? Because government got some people want to take over, and then the little internal elections, well, I don't want to say little, the internal elections end up in the court, and there's a big back and forth. We must support people. So when it's your time, you get a little support. Of course, you're supporting wrongdoing. You're not supporting for the sake of supporting. But if you have an opportunity to support, it isn't contentious, it didn't take away from your dignity and human life. Let me support. This was a very, very refreshing. You see, it's only two bald-headed men could do this, you know. Yeah, my head bald too, but my heart is Rasta. Head bald, but my heart is dread. Yep. Yeah. So congrats. Congrats there to the folks down at the Guyana Olympic Association. Right. Guyana Human Rights Association has come under heavy attack from the administration. Soon just speak out, Larry Davy. Soon just speak out. Right? Them boys bringing some red herrings and dashing in your face. So the Guyana Human Rights Association spoke out on the issue of these smart cards. These smart ID cards. Who tell them to do that? As we say in the vernacular, and they'll come out for read a horoscope. Don't listen to them. They ain't filed tax returns since 1979. Since 1979. You went in power before now for 23 years. And you didn't realize that? Since 1979. They owe $38 million, all because the Guyana Human Rights Association come out and say, halt this process. I saw one headline that even referred to them as the now defunct. Oh, wow. The people then said that they defunct, but we pronouncing. Right? It's like people in the AFC, we are always dead. But every day, you got people coming out here reading the eulogy. Right? We died 5 years ago. People still reading the eulogy every day. So people are pronouncing, oh, the GRA defunct. Why? Because they come out in the talk. If the GRA had a quarter of a man, if it had a quarter of a man, and it was singing the praises of the administration, they would have been beloved. Beloved. GRA endorsed. GRA slams opposition. GRA. It would have been making the headlines. They didn't concern how much tax did they owe, if they owe any. They don't really concerned about that. There we go now. So we in K. Like how Ozzy Rogers in the car and then K, who he beat up, which woman he assault in what supermarket. Same way. Right? Then K, how much parents board nest cuss up. Abuse the children, beating women, right? How much the elevator reaching the top floor, board nest in Ricardo. So we for he. It's when he fall out of favor, then we can know how much tax he owe and how much returns he submit. You see? Give us a break. This is the playbook 101, folks. This is the playbook 101. It's the playbook. Sad story. Lady left her child at the daycare in Ogle, got a call the baby dead. And they're reporting that the baby was found with a sheet wrapped around her and on the ground. Yep. That's the report out there. The baby was found with a sheet wrapped around her and on the ground. At this daycare in Ogle. Oria is the child's name. Oria Graves Andy. Of Success. 7 months old. And these are the damning, strong, potent allegations that are being made against the Little Learning Daycare of Ogle. And the presumption is that the baby would have died of suffocation. 7 months old. And that's the assumption, the presumption, the allegation that the baby died of suffocation. Fell off the table, probably got entangled in the sheet. That's one school of thought. Was left there. And of course, I saw people asking lots of questions on social media. How come? They hear the baby crying, how come? How come? Right? So we got more on this, folks. We're going to have that for you. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Graves and the family. The family in general, God be terrible to them. 7 months old, you left your baby in the daycare, you're going to work. And then you get a call. Your whole life can change just like that, you know. Just like that. Right? Just like that. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family. You know. Thoughts and prayers. Sad situation there. Very, very, very sad. Very sad. They can bring a lot of things into question with that daycare. And they got to go through it. They got to walk through it. Human rights report coming out of the State Department. Right? Fagundes, Ricardo Fagundes, was gunned down short distance away from State House. And you all know by now the Dion Bascom saga, the accusations, we still don't know who executed Ricardo Fagundes. Still don't know. You remember? You know, Irfan got a refrain. No stone unturned. Jesus. And he wants to see the size of the quarry he looking in. No stone unturned. We're no closer to finding out who executed Ricardo Fagundes. U.S. State Department pointed to that. Cover up. Corruption in the police force. The PPP's police force. You know that Dion Bascom had alleged police interference in covering up the intellectual authors and masterminds of the Ricardo Fagundes execution. A stone throw. There is, we call the place again? On Main Street? Whatever. Where he was that day. Right next door, right up the road. Less than 5 minutes. State House. And this man was gunned down in a hail of bullets. And we're no closer to finding out. No closer. Right? No closer. U.S. State Department raised that as an issue in its annual human rights report. Right? Raise it as an issue. Saturday, folks. Oh, this gets me. Blackout. Raise that in its human rights report. Right? Yesterday was the day for against discrimination, promoting anti-discrimination. Yesterday was that day. And it should be a day every day, because we heard all the lofty statements, you know, coming out of the administration, as per usual. Right? They say one thing, but the actions. Right? They say we don't discriminate. Right? But action speaks louder. Actions speak louder. The leader of the opposition spoke to the occasion yesterday, you know, against discrimination as it was being recognized internationally. And here's some of what he said.
Today, 21st March, marks the United Nations International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. The 2023 theme focuses on the urgency of combating racism and racial discrimination. 75 years after the adoption of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights. Against this backdrop, I take the opportunity to speak to the nation on the necessity and urgency of building better race relations and eliminating all forms of discrimination in Guyana. In so doing, we in the opposition wish to highlight two of the articles, Article 2 and 7, in the historic Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 2 states, in part, everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration, without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. And Article 7 states, All are equal before the law.
Our apologies there, folks. Our sincere apologies. We want you to get that as clear as possible. We want you folks to have that as clear as possible, and so we want to run from the top again. We had some feedback among some other things working against us there, and we want to run that from the top. It's very important. I wanted you to hear all of it with as much clarity as possible. So we want to run that from the top. Run it from the very top. As I said, yesterday was the day we celebrated as a world. All of the strides we've made against discrimination. All of the strides we've made in that regard. And as such, I wanted you to know and hear Mr. Norton on that very subject. And here's that again.
Today, 21st March, marks the United Nations International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. The 2023 theme focuses on the urgency of combating racism and racial discrimination, 75 years after the adoption of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights. Against this backdrop, I take the opportunity to speak to the nation on the necessity and urgency of building better race relations and eliminating all forms of discrimination in Guyana. In so doing, we in the opposition wish to highlight two of the articles, Article 2 and 7, in the historic Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 2 states, in part, everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration, without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. And Article 7 states, all are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration and against any incitement to such discrimination. We in the PNCR in the opposition have stood and fought and continue to stand and fight against all forms of inequality, injustice, indignity, oppression, and discrimination in Guyana and in the wider world. While racial discrimination continues to dominate our national discourse and scar our national psyche, let us in no way underemphasize the reality that many persons often face discrimination because of their ethnicity, political affiliation, religion, gender, social status, residence, and other statuses. Women, for example, face discrimination for their sex alone, but also when their race or religion intersects with their sex. Indigenous people face discrimination not only because of their race or ethnicity, but also because of their relative social and economic disempowerment. Indo-Guyanese face discrimination when they choose to support a party other than the PPP. For us, therefore, a comprehensive national anti-discrimination agenda must focus on achieving harmonious race relations, women empowerment, equality of opportunity for all, and the minimizing of all forms of discrimination. We in the opposition, therefore, join in the international call for concrete actions and a united stance to fight inequality and discrimination. Lip service and sporadic actions will not work. Guyana needs a national action plan on race relations, gender empowerment, and anti-discrimination. Such a plan is not only a moral imperative, but also a key driver of economic growth and social progress. When all Guyanese have the opportunity to reach their full potential, when all Guyanese feel respected and included, we all benefit from their contributions to society. A national plan or agenda must be built on 3 distinct but mutually supporting pillars, all of which are reflected in the Guyana Constitution itself. These 3 pillars are: pillar number 1, the fostering of good ethnic and other relations. For the PNCR and the opposition, the focus here will be to ensure all citizens feel that their identity, culture, and rights are respected by the state and by their fellow citizens, as well as to ensure citizens of different ethnicities and other identities do not live in silos, but can engage and cooperate with one another. Education will be a key factor here. In particular, we need to educate people about the history and experiences of different racial and ethnic groups in Guyana, as well as about the social, economic, and political factors that contribute to racial tension and division. This includes promoting greater cultural exchange and intercultural communications, as well as promoting diversity and inclusions in schools and workplaces. Additionally, political parties and leaders have a critical role to play. Political leaders should promote a vision of a united and inclusive society and work towards building consensus and cooperation between different racial and ethnic groups. This includes promoting greater representation and participation of unrepresented groups in the political process, as well as promoting greater dialogue and collaboration between different political parties. Pillar number 2, the elimination of racial and other forms of discrimination. The focus here is to ensure all prohibited forms of unequal treatment of citizens are eliminated in policies and practices, and those cases of discrimination that result from unintended consequences and implicit bias. Here, we must strive to ensure that everyone has equal access to economic opportunities, regardless of their race, ethnicity, gender, or other identities. We must create policies that promote equal opportunity and equity, and we must also work to eliminate discrimination in all its forms. We need a government that will proactively establish policies that address these issues. Fellow Guyanese, we need to address the immediate needs of communities in all 10 regions that are most affected by poverty, inequality, and discrimination. This means providing targeted support for education, healthcare, gainful employment, and basic services, as well as addressing barriers to economic opportunity and assets such as access to finance, land, social safety net, and affordable housing. Pillar number 3, the promotion of equity and equal opportunity. We must ensure that even in the absence of discriminations, efforts are made to level the playing field and to secure opportunities and resources for disadvantaged ethnic and social groups. In building on these 3 pillars, we must all subscribe to some common values and principles on race relations and anti-discrimination in general.
Yeah, folks, that is just some of what the leader of the opposition and the leader of the PNCR, Mr. Aubrey Norton, said on yesterday, being the International Day on the elimination of racial discrimination. Right? International Day, recognizing the need to eliminate racial discrimination. Yeah, it's just some of what he said. Every day we got to strive, folks. Not just one day. Every day we got to keep striving. Every day. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. Before you go, we want you to know, if you're looking for a commissioner of votes, Traffy Davis, and a justice of the peace, then we want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm. We want to recommend that firm to you, folks. We want to recommend that firm to you. Get the answers you need, they tell us. Get the answers you need with the Alistair Collins firm. As a commissioner of votes, to affidavits. As a justice of the peace, they provide expert guidance. I tell you guys, I use them as well. And they provide excellent guidance and support for all your documentation needs. They're available, folks. You can go down there at the Callion Mall, Monday through Saturday at the Callion Mall, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Monday through Saturday at the Callion Mall, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Phone number 649-6410, 649-6410, and 6448. That is the other number. Yep, expert guidance for all your documentation needs. I use them myself. Tell you all that. I use them myself, and happily so. That's going to do it for us, guys. And while you're on that, we want to recommend too that you are partner with us so that we can continue growing from strength to strength here. We can only do it with your love, your support, and your contributions, folks. We are available via Cash App, via Zelle, via PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union as well. This is how you can support our efforts to keep our programs going. We wish we were getting a subvention from them boys. Would be money well spent from the government, but we don't. And because of your love and support and generosity, this is how we keep moving forward, and this is how you can help us to do that. That being said, folks, that's the time. That is the time. And that's the program. Stay safe, guys. We're going to see you guys real soon. Stay safe out there. Thanks for joining our morning broadcast. Each and every one of you. Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx, thanks for joining us. Dolly Anderson and Gweneth Anderson, Gail Alicock, Out Front Park, Siobhan McDonald, Maxine Monroe, all you good folks, thanks for joining us. Smash that emoji button before you go, please. Smash that emoji button for us and share the live as well. Take care, guys. We're going to see you guys back real soon. Stay safe, stay woke. Look out for them boys. Stay safe. That's the time, and that's our program.